Hi guys and welcome back to Clockwork Noodles. I am continuing my mission to break down the seasonal anime with you guys, and we are back with episode 2 of the Aquatope on White Sands. So I decided to pick this one up on a bit of a gut instinct. Once I saw episode 1, I figured that this would be something that I would really enjoy. So we're going to talk about episode 2. It will be general thoughts. What did I think? What little bits and pieces did I pick up in the environment? Things that I really liked, things that I didn't. And then hopefully where I think we're going with the story as well. If you are interested in what I do, or you have just discovered me for the first time, hello, I am Becca, head of the Noodle Bowl, which is Clockwork Noodles, with a love of anime and just deciding that I wanted to talk about anime is what I really enjoy doing. So hello and welcome. Please, if you think this is something you are interested in, subscribe to the channel. It really helps. And hello to a few of you new guys. We've had a few of you come through this week with some of my older videos being pushed by YouTube, which I am very thankful for. Mainly, I think it's Moriarty stuff being pushed, so thank you, YouTube. There is also a Discord channel too if you want notifications to your phone whenever videos go up. At the moment, there isn't really a schedule, so the schedule I initially released is a bit redundant because some things have dropped, some things have changed. There's going to be Obey Me going out tomorrow now because we're finally on target, but I want to explain that in that video mainly. But lots of new stuff going on, so make sure you are, if you are interested, you join the Discord channel. It's mainly for lurking, but you get the notifications, and I also inform you guys of what's going on and when. So let's get back to the anime, which looks gorgeous, very gorgeous. I think the strongest point of this anime is things like lighting is fantastic, and the use of color. There's a lot of nice use of colors every so often. So we finally have our main two characters interacting there together, and Fuka is starting to feel inspired. She's inspired to beg Cuckoo, as we are calling her, to stay with her, to be with her, where we are starting to get more and more nuggets on the situation that is at hand with the aquarium, where the aquarium is mid changing of hands, a possible changing of hands, where we'll learn as well that there could be some jobs at risk. So we're going to go under new management. Mainly the entire episode, we learn that her dream is the aquarium, and the aquarium is at risk. So that is where we currently are. Once again, we are back into the world of gorgeous colours. The details as well within the food section, just being welcomed into Cuckoo's very friendly home. They are very friendly towards a complete stranger. The blue and purple sunset is absolutely gorgeous. We take a mundane action like just peeling beans and we turn it into something quite pretty. We have the purple, the blue. Purple and blue in general brings a mystery. It's gentle, it's calming. It's a very gorgeous mix of colours. Also, my two favourite colours in the world. Absolutely love those mix of colours. Everything is disrupted by the phone call from Fuka's mum, who kind of gets tricked into answering because I think it comes through as an unknown call. She knows that eventually she can't run forever. She has to tell everybody what she's actually doing. Cuckoo as well having her own problems too, that she needs to save up a large amount of money for tank parts to allow the tanks to continue running. So running an aquarium is very expensive. As I told you guys last week, I am in a job which deals with fish, and they ain't cheap. They are definitely not cheap. I get to see how much the filter pads just to filter through the water in the tanks cost, and it's pricey, and we have 7 of them, so very expensive indeed. I have to say, big kudos to the anime for actually going to the lengths of actually informing us a bit about the aquariums. Many aquariums do have a partner vet who are on site. Oddly enough, I bet you didn't know that fish can have a vet. They have ways of operating on fish. There's ways of performing surgery on fish as well. So something you don't often think about is a fish undergoing treatment. But we do get to see the not so glamorous side of dealing with fish. It really does stink, all that water. It's not a good job for people who don't have a strong stomach. Also giving us the information about nail polish. Nail polish is toxic, so it's mainly the case where if you were putting your hands in the tank long enough, if you were cleaning the glass or something, and if any of that polish flakes off and then is eaten by a fish, it can cause a lot of damage. It's very toxic. It can block the digestive tract. It can probably kill a fish as well if it got into the hands of the wrong fish. I like the fact that they've given us those tiny little details. I'm not allowed to wear makeup or nail polish in my job either, so nice to see that that is also carried over in an anime like this. I don't think it was Fuka's best move to apply directly into some work which she didn't really know a lot about. Perhaps as well, I think Cuckoo maybe shares a tiny bit of the blame for not actually explaining or at least going through penguins first. So making sure that Fuka was okay with penguins before even feeding them in public, in front of someone. So it would have been best to go behind scenes, go, these are our penguins, let me introduce you to them quickly before at least putting on a public show, because this public show ends in a splash, and it's not a good kind of splash, where we end up feeling the frustration, Cuckoo's frustration, her anger, because this job to her is everything. With the actions that Fuka ends up taking as she falls in, and she could have harmed a penguin, especially when she's walking around freaking out and the penguins are under her. She could do a lot of damage to a penguin who is a lot smaller than her. You can really feel her anger and the reasoning behind it as well, because to her, animals are everything in the environment that she's dealing with and she cares for. And Fuka's actions were seen as a bit dangerous. They could have really harmed something, and you can understand that pent-up frustration is starting to come out on the way that she talks to her as well. But the music is very, very nice. I love the change of music because it slows down. It's a bit more sad. It starts to have that reality shock to Fuka that it's not just as easy as picking up a job. You can't just jump into something like this. The highest point of this anime really is the lighting. Just seeing the light bouncing off the tanks, coming onto their faces, really looks absolutely gorgeous. Distribution of light, everything. Definitely a high point of the anime for me. Fuka and the audience both finding out at the same time why Cuckoo is very desperate right now, very frustrated, trying her hardest to keep her job floating, is because this is her dream. This is the dream. And we've also got the fact that her dream is coming to an end, perhaps at the end of summer. So at the end of summer, her grandfather is changing hands. The aquarium will be changing hands. She wants to save it without having to change hands. She wants to essentially show her grandfather that, you don't have to sell this. This is my dream. I love fish. This is what I live and breathe. Fuka ends up becoming more and more motivated because essentially Cuckoo is a younger version of herself in a sense. We saw Fuka, she ended up having to let go of her dreams. She ended up having to abandon and walk away. She ended up stepping out, and she knows the pain of having to let go of something and never seeing that dream come into fruition. But she can see Cuckoo at the point where the dream is borderline right now. She could still save it. She can still perhaps do something. And we know that Fuka blames herself for not being able to act and not do something. In a sense, motivated to try and spare Cuckoo the pain of losing a dream. Maybe I can help you get yours. I can't have my dream, but I might be able to save yours. We start to see the empathy she has for her. She simply understands the pain of losing a dream, and she wants to spare Cuckoo from this. We see Cuckoo standing up and holding her own against some con men. Again, how low do you have to be to try and rip off a kid? Really, really bad people. And thankfully, we get to see Fuka showering them literally to get them off the aquarium, send them away, where our girls finally start to bond. And this is a really nice little moment. Seeing them starting to actually interact with one another, settle down, the atmosphere between them, the uneasiness starts to simmer away, and finally we get to see them starting to open up and relax with one another. They are both united under the idea of chasing a dream. Cuckoo is on the edge. She's literally on the edge of losing the dream. So at the moment, she still has the dream within her grasp. Overall, I would say that Fuka strikes me as a person who is very determined to help. She will do her best for absolutely anybody. She ends up actually stepping away from her own dream just to try and help somebody else. She's moved by the story of hearing somebody else. And in the end, she decides that she's going to step away. And that ends up being a bit of a downward spiral, getting her less and less work and to eventually be fired from her role, which is quite sad. But Fuka definitely strikes me as a person who is inspired to help other people. But the entire scenario inspires her to open up. Finally, she tells the truth, and the two can finally stand on a good, even plane. And that is where we roughly end. So we see them finally on an even plane with the desire to chase a dream. Let's quickly talk about the ED, because the ED is very, very nice. We see a lot of visuals with cracks. We come in on the cracked icon of the shoes, which I believe is the broken dreams of being an idol. This is Fuka's broken dream, now laying underwater, cracked, gone, out of reach, where we can see that Cuckoo is floating in the water. It's actually quite calming. She doesn't look like she's struggling or anything, and it's more that she's quite at ease. She's just floating along, going with the tide. She's quite a carefree character. I think that you can feel that with her pose in the water, the way she is. Where on the flip side, we see Fuka. Fuka is falling. This is a loss of control. She has lost control in her life, being thrown around. She's just going wherever life kind of throws her right now. And she hasn't got a goal in mind. She's not really got her feet on stable ground. She's falling away. She's reaching up, still trying to hope that there is something that she might be able to grab onto. But Fuka is falling down into the darkness. Perhaps as well right now, she feels like she's drowning. She's got nowhere to go. She feels a bit trapped, maybe a bit overwhelmed by everything that's going on around her. The image of the two reaching out for the golden sparkle in between them is very, very nice. Seeing them both facing the same way, both of them are reaching out for a dream of some sort, some kind of hope. Gold is the colour of dreams, money, success, and hopes and dreams. Both of them are trying to reach a hope. Both of them have a dream. And this is something that looks like it's leading both together. So if they continue moving forward, they would hit each other. They would both be holding the same thing. I really like the ED. I think the ED is one of the stronger points. I wasn't too fussed by the OP, but it does set the scene quite nicely. Really like those visuals that we're getting in the ED, giving us more of a flavour of the kind of thing that's going on in the anime. Something else I didn't really mention last week as well was the scene where she woke up covered in bones. I like the fact that there is this deity going around. So especially with Japan, it's a culture full of myths, legends, folklore. There's a lot of deities out there that fill up stories and make very interesting bedtime tales if you want to read into some of them. I think that scene actually was quite poignant in a sense, where she wakes up covered in fish bones, and we even see her this episode giving a head to the deity and hoping that it works. The deity as well, I think it works. I think normally with a slice of life, you don't really add too much in the way of a more supernatural element to it. This is one of the few that I think carry it quite nicely. As well, another one which carries it nicely is Natsume's Book of Friends, which deals with the supernatural and things like this quite a bit. But I really like that little aspect. It gives the slice of life a bit more of a twist, a bit more of an edge. So I'm really excited to see where that goes. I am really liking the plot. I'm happy to let it carry me along with it. It's lovely. The music is great. The visuals are great. I'm really feeling the characters too. I really like the cast of characters we've got. I like the designs. I like the way this anime does eyes as well. The eyes look gorgeous. I also like the fact that all the people who have a link to the aquarium have blue somewhere on their design, whether it's at the bottoms of the hair. Kai, our new character this week, has blue hair, blue eyes. Everyone has this link, and blue with the water as well. That everybody here is very calming and gentle because they deal with animals, they deal with wildlife, they deal with living beings, and they understand how important their role is. Really, really liking those subtle elements that are hidden within. So I really hope you guys are enjoying this anime. I know there's not many of you guys watching this one. I think this anime isn't for everyone. Most people don't really like slice of lives, but I think it is an anime that I really hope gains a bit of traction because it's nice. Everything I've seen so far is really, really nice. So hopefully you guys enjoy my breakdowns, and I will see you guys again next week. Thank you so much, and make sure you're looking after yourself, guys. Bye-bye.